All right, I am here today with Mitch Warren with Warren Beach Rentals, and I call him the boss of the beach. So if you want to know why he's the boss of the beach, stay tuned, I'll let you know. All right, I'm so happy to be joined by Mitch Warren today with Warren Beach Rentals. I really appreciate having good partnerships when I have my buyers call me if they need a lender, if they need insurance, if they need a management company, that I have trusted partners that I could go to that not only, in his case, provide excellent customer service and a great guest experience, but also great service to my owners of the property, so all parties can be happy, and that's rare to find. So when someone calls me up and they're looking to purchase an investment property, as I'm asking them a long litany of questions, one of the questions is going to be, are you going to self-manage or are you going to use a property management company? And a lot of times they're not sure. And so, one of my questions back to them is, well, do you got a lot of spare time on your hands? Do you want to get the call 10 o'clock at night that the toaster's broken? Or that there's not enough towels or something? Because if you don't, then you probably want to look into property management, and there's a lot of service that they provide. So I wanted to bring Mitch in because there's some top questions that people ask when they're looking to use a property management company that I wanted him to be able to answer for us today. So when I do talk to people about using a management company, we talk about a management company versus self-managing the properties. Talk to us about what are the main differences between using a management company versus somebody just saying, hey, I'm just going to put it on Vrbo or Airbnb and just do it myself.
Yeah, sure. No, and thank you for having me today. The beach boss, I don't know if I've ever really been called. I've been called a lot of things. Beach boss, not one of them. But no, we're pleased to be here. I'm Mitch Warren, and I've owned Warren Beach Rentals and have for the last 27 years. And one of the things we get all the time are people calling and saying, I'm considering using a management company, or I maybe want to do it myself. What can you talk with us about? And the first thing I tell them is, look, man, even 27 years after I bought my first property, I get wired about people buying. I love real estate. I probably get way more excited than I should. But since I've been doing this, I've never had one person, and this has been hundreds and hundreds of people, that said, man, I sure regret buying that property at the beach. And we bought our first property 27 years ago, and my kids were little. They've grown up now, and all of them have chosen to live here because we had such great memories. So buying a beach property is an exciting experience, and a lot of time, especially for first-time people, they don't really know what to expect.
Right.
And I'm happy to talk people through this, whether or not they use us or not. Sure. For the buyer that buys a property and wants to go on their own, that's certainly an option, and it's not necessarily a bad option. But what they have to understand is their total power to rent that unit is how much exposure they can get either on their Facebook marketplace, their inner circle of friends, maybe Airbnb and VRBO. That's how they're going to rent their unit and generate the revenue, and that drives everything. The problem is I've got 27 years and my analytics are here and my SEO is here.
He's up there.
And I'm the first guy on the page, and you're the 60th.
You're like on page 17, 18.
My unit's getting rented first. The second part of that is just like our relationship.
Yeah.
We've got a full-time staff of about 18 people and countless partners that we work with day in and day out that will pick up that phone at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night and jump right on anything that I need. And as an individual owner, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours away, you're just not going to have access to that. You'll have a cleaner. You're not going to have any oversight for that cleaner. All of our properties, and this is one of our properties,
that's pretty.
We have cleaners that are dedicated to this, that are in it every week. Those cleaners have managers, and then our company has property inspectors that inspect the inspectors so that the quality control is there. Because especially in this environment, post-COVID, people demand and expect a property that is professionally clean.
Right, exactly.
And they won't settle for less.
Right.
So again, I'm not saying that that self-management is a bad thing. I've done it on my own properties before I got into the rental business, and it's fine. It's just it's not as easy as plug and play. Right. There's a lot. You'll rent some things in the summer, but it's those shoulder seasons where really your profit and loss is made, and then just being able to respond immediately to rentals concern.
Right.
It's everything for the rentals to get those repeat guests, to have them come back to you and be faithful to you year over year.
Yeah.
And our company does a good job of branding properties and having a nice rental arc over the course of several years. And what we found, we'll do 30 to 40% more than what an owner will do on their own.
How many current properties do you guys
We have
manage?
right at 170 properties.
Okay.
And with the real estate market selling, I mean, that kind of ebbs and flows a little bit with properties changing hands. But we'll always stay right under 200 because we like to have more of a personal.
Well, and I can tell you from my experience with Mitch is that they just don't take on any property.
No.
They are very, very selective in the properties that they take on. To even like the certain buildings that they'll take on, and then whenever I get a new one under contract or about to, or he's really good at providing me projections on rentals if I can't get it for a buyer, and he's always very honest in those projections. He'll give me his good feedback, and I appreciate that. But I know what he'll kind of take on and what he won't take on. But what I really like about him is that he'll recognize that, hey, this is a really nice unit and this is going to do good, but the owners are probably going to need to do this, and this to really bring out the full potential of the property, and to make sure that he's comfortable marketing that property and he feels confident about it. And most of my owners understand that, and they have that pride of ownership too. So, whether it needs to get rid of the carpet or change out a couple pieces of furniture or paint. And he's a really good person to, give that feedback and meet them at the unit and tell them what needs to be done. And that is really helpful as well. And I think that's one thing that really sets you apart, because honestly, there's dozens of management companies in this market. Do you even know how many? I can't keep up. There's new management companies popping up all the time. Right. And how does a buyer really know like what's a good one, and who's going to do a good job and stuff? So what sets you guys apart from like the dozens of other guys out there on the beach? Okay.
Well, and that's a fair question. There's a lot of rental companies out there. There's a lot of companies far bigger than us, but our business model is based on a relationship model.
Right.
I want a more intimate relationship with my customers. I want to work hand in hand with them to have their success be of prime importance. I told you earlier, I got into the rental management business 27 years ago. I bought my first condo at Main Sale in Destin. Closed the first week of June, full calendar.
Right.
It's with a rental management company. I'm thinking, boy, I'm going to come up with, I'm doing good. I'm going to make some money. The end of the month comes, I get a statement. I get billed for 3 vacuum cleaners, a Papazon chair pad, which I didn't have a Papazon chair. And the deal breaker was they billed me $42 for worn salad tongs.
What?
It's like, okay, there's a disconnect here. I called him. I said, look, I'm on my own. I'm out of here. I'm going to figure out a way to do this myself. The internet had just started, and a little company by the name of VRBO had just started. And I was the first person in Northwest Florida to sign up for VRBO.
Wow.
And my VRBO number, and it's still out there, is VRBO number 475. If you went to today and signed up, they go chronologically. They're almost to the 3 million.
Oh, wow.
So
you're 475.
That's the kind of gravitas we have. We've been with them a long time. And one of the things that we do that other companies just don't is we have a revenue generation model that is very
precise,
driven by us and fueled by technology. And what we'll do is we'll take the data coming in, but we're constantly repricing our book of business 3, 6, 9 months ahead, because we want to always keep those units booked and make sure that those units are priced appropriately. We're not just a set it and forget it company, and that's what most of these companies do. And if you're looking at companies, you might want to ask them, how do you set your rates?
Pricing,
And if they say we set it up with this company or that company, all they're doing is taking data from San Jose, California, plug it in the system, And if it doesn't rent 3 weeks ahead of time, they're dropping the price to the
Yeah.
floor. We don't want to get 3 weeks ahead. We want to always be booked out at the top price. And that way, that's how we're always on top of the revenue generation game. And that's kind of what we're known for.
And he's right, because I stalk I stalk my owner's rental calendars of all that are with him, and I've got a lot of my folks with you, and they're doing great. They're being very successful, and I stay in touch with all of my owners after they close, and I ask them, like, how's it going? Like, how's the company doing for you? And just staying in touch with them with that. And they're all very happy and very pleased with the service that they've gotten from Mitch's team. And their calendars are booked. I mean, even into the fall, which traditionally like really falls off, they all have bookings October, November, December. And it's not just snowbirds taking over a whole month. It's like, you know, a full week and a full week and a full week. So that's a great indicator that all the things that he's doing definitely works. And I agree with you on the pricing thing, because it's something that, you know, you got to stay in touch with, and then not just dump the prices when, you know, if you haven't done it correctly. So if you have any more questions for Mitch and his team, at the end of this video, there is a screen with all his contact information, his phone number, his website. Reach out to him and talk about, like, if you currently have a unit that you might be interested in moving over to his company. Or of course, if you're looking to buy an investment property, you know, reach out to me. Let's get the conversation started, and then I'll point you in his direction, and we'd love to help you out. If you're ready to find the perfect property in Panama City Beach, Florida, please check out my website. And then please also subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's little subscribe buttons all over the place. And I provide educational videos for all my buyers and sellers and investors every week, and love to bring you new ideas and education and get you more prepared to buy a property in Panama City Beach, Florida. Thank you so much for your time. Y'all have a great day. Bye.